Okay. So we are in the chapter 4, Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yoga. And we saw in detail Karmanya Karmaya Pashet. Then after that, we saw how the two different type of Jnana Karma Sannyasis in the last class. So if you recall, we talked about two different type of sannyasi for whom it is basically the way same thing what Krishna said in chapter number 3. Lokesmin dvividha nishta. That's Bhagavan said. That means only there are two main categories of nishta in this jnana marga. Jnanam, only through jnanam, the sanya, the karma, the jnani and the moksham. But one is what we call as a vividisha sannyasi, which is ashrama sannyasi, like, the normal people who come through our mission and ashram and pitam and matam and everything we see with a kashaya vastram and that sampradaya. Sampradaya sannyasi, you can, if you want, can say. The other one we saw was a Vidvat sannyasi, who is having the same sannyasa bhavana internally, but externally he has not renounced any of his normal livelihood or in the society transactional living. Okay, so he's a 9 to 5 working, which is what it is mainly focused on for 99.999% of most of the people. And the Gita Upadesham is through have the Vidvat Sannyasam. And so Krishna will address for both of them how the Gita is applicable. The teaching is the same for both. This karmani, akarma pashyet and everything is the same for both. So Krishna there and there will touch a little bit on the ashrama sannyasi also, but mostly focusing upon the Vidvat sannyasi. And in that we said, any doubt in so far in what we saw in the law so far in this chapter 4, and we are seeing in this chapter 4, we are delving into in detail in so many portions which are so much applicable right from the avatar and everything. So it is very important that chapter 4 is very unique in that it in every shloka it goes a bit deep, and there will be portions of shlokas like 5, 10, 12 or something like that, which addresses one particular topic, which is very important for this one. So after discussing that particular, especially the important thing of in all the actions, how one is seeing the inaction or the akarma, and we have to again recall from that class when we said in that jnani or the mumukshu who has seen in every action the akarma is actually the atman or the brahman. In that context, only in that context, karmani akarma pashet, that one particular phrase, that one particular one, it is the akarma is atma or brahman. So he is seeing the brahman in everything. And that we said in the last class, samagram karma praviliyate. This 8, 9 and 10 is what is going to be expanded in today's class. So that's why I straight away delving into that. So that this 8, 9 and 10. So samagra means what? In totality, anything, and karma, the action. Praviliyate means prakrishena viliyate. That means it sublimes or it kind of merges into or it pervades into what? In the prakriti, in the creation. So what? In the creation of nothing but Brahman. Everything Brahmaiva Satyam. In that Satyam, the Nitya Satyam Brahman, in that they previliyate. Not just the external world of creation as we think. Internal, external. There is nothing called internal, external. So that is what Krishna is going to talk. So before we get into that one, so in any action to perform, for a karma to perform, we were always talking about what is called a triputi, meaning to say 3 important factors, though that can also be taken to 7 and everything. But very important referential factors here talk is about 3. That means there is a doer. And that is why this is mostly for human beings that it is addressed to, because for human beings in this Naraloka, moksham is praptam. That this particular doer, who is doing this, and there is an action which is karyam. So there is a karta or as a doer, and there is a karyam, there's an action. But for a karta to do an action, he needs what? Karanam, an instrument, anything. So in the basic factors of 5 instruments, the faculties that you are born with, the 5 sense organs, that is a karanam. So karta, karanam, karyam. If the karanam is not functional, he can never do a karyam, right? So keep that in mind, and then we will delve into this particular ongoing topic in today. Everything will be taken into these 3 factors: karta, karyam, karanam. But only terminologies will change. That's all. And we will apply it as we go, which I have sent you a referential material. We'll do it accordingly so that we can apply it in the referential nature of this one. So, excuse me, Nalini ji, can you unmute yourself and then chant after me?
Okay, Mama.
Okay. Brahmaarpanam Brahmahavihi.
Brahmaarpanam Brahmahavihi.
When you say Brahma, once again, when you also, you can little bit stress on the ha. Brahmaarpanam Brahmahavihi.
Brahmaarpanam Brahmahavihi.
Very good.
Brahmaarpanam Brahmahavihi.
Brahmagnau Brahmanahutam.
Brahmagnau Brahmanahutam. Brahmagnau Brahmanahutam.
Very good. Brahmaivatena gantavyam.
Brahmaivatena gantavyam. Brahmaivatena gantavyam.
Brahma karma samadhina.
Brahma karma samadhinaha. Dinaha unda visarga unda mama.
No visargam. It is a strilingam.
No. Okay, fine. Brahma karma samadhina.
Sorry, it's a tritiya vibhakti, so karma samadhina. Sorry, it's a tritiya vibhakti, so karma samadhina. Okay. Okay, so why I was just saying is in this Sanskritam, though we write ha and ma, it's always Brahma. So, these factors, sometimes people do normally say Brahmaarpanam, Brahmahavihi. They say Brahmagno, Brahmanahutam, Brahmaivatena gantavyam, Brahma. That's okay. That is nothing wrong when we say that. But as we perfect in chanting, it is just to keep it in mind. When you keep that in mind, it automatically comes in. It becomes Brahmaarpanam, Brahmavihi, Brahmagno, Brahmanahutam, Brahmaivatena gantavyam, Brahma karma samadhina. So what happens is, even when you chant, that keeps on writing. So the main thing is, when you chant something, somebody must be able to write. See, how to check if your pronunciation and your chanting is right means a person who knows just say, take it as a computer. If it needs to write, you must spell that. Because as it is in English, we don't swallow any letters in phonetic language of Sanskritam. Okay, so that's why I was just telling you. That's all, nothing more. It's just a small thing. Okay, so coming into the essence of this particular one, and this is a very important one, and normally people chant this sometime before having a food. Nothing wrong in that, but this is more than that. Is very much more into it's a jnana purvaka shlokam. This one very, very deep into nothing related to food, but just to see anyway, everything is arpanam, though it comes. So that means why I have to tell you is, the first word is arpanam. So I'm going to divide everything into Brahma here. So first Bhagavan says Arpanam Brahma. That is one, though it's a summer, that one is Arpanam Brahma. Normally, when we say Arpanam, means we say that is an offering. So in that sense, only people have been chanting this while taking food, as if it's an offering to Bhagavan or the Brahman. But here in this slokam, Arpanam means it's not offering here. Arpana means not offering. Here Arpana means Karanam. The instrument is here. So what is saying? The instrument or the Karanam is Brahma. So what is this instrument? This one is all, everything is, the whole shloka is as if there is somebody who is doing a homam. Homam or yagnam or havanam, all those things. That somebody is sitting before the fire. There is a Agni kundam. So there is a person standing, and then he is having one kind of a wooden spoon. Yeah. And that wooden spoon is called arpanam here, or we call srik. That srik is called arpanam here. But people term it Brahmaarpanam. When we eat, we put it as arpanam Brahma. That's fine, no problem. But in this shloka, the arpanam means it is only that srik, or that, the wooden spoon. That is called the arpanam. So he's first, so he says the instrument is Brahman. Brahman. Brahmaiva Satyam, Brahma Ekam. That Ekam Brahma. So he says first the instrument is Brahman. And then Krishna says, Havihi Brahma. Havihi means Havis. Havis is Havihi here. That's okay. Havis means, that offering, the substance that you keep in there to offer in the fire, that Havis, normally in normal places, when we say Havis, they bring that cooked rice, that is just prepared at that time. That cooked rice, what you keep on that spoon, that Havis is also Brahma, because, you have to put something in the spoon and do either ghee or some rice. So anything, that Havis. The Havis means that substance that is being placed on the spoon for offering in the homam is called, that is also Brahman. And I'm just going to the literal meaning, then we will go deep more. So Havis is also Brahma. Then Bhagavan says, Brahmana, 5, 6, 7. Brahmana, Brahmagnau Hutam. So who is the doer here? So he is also Brahmana. This is Tritiya Bhakti. That means by that doer. So the doer is also Brahman. And the doer in this context is actually called Hota. So when you do a homam, the karyam is homam. The person who is doing is a Hota. The instrument, yeah, that is arpanam, that is also Brahma. So, and in that what we have is Havis, and the karyam is homam. So there is a Hota, there is a homam, and there is a Havis. You understand? So that's how these things happen. So this Brahmana is equal to, by the Hotra. In Sanskrit, what to say? Because Hotru Shabdam is that Hota, or that Hotra, that particular one who is doing it is so number 5 is actually by the doer. By the doer is a Brahman. So the doer is what is doing us. The doer is also Brahman. And where does he offer? In the Agni. This is Saptamavakti. So that means that if you really split it, that's a Brahmaagni. Brahmaagni is a compound word. So in that we have to take it as Agni is also Brahman. So the doer is Brahman. The spoon is Brahman. The Havis is Brahman. The Agni is Brahman. And Brahmana, where it is going, Hutam, that is how it has been also been offered. So you understand? So there is a homam, when we say it's a karyam, like Agni homam. In that, the Agni, which is first raised, that is a Brahman, and the Hota, or the person who is doing, that is Brahman. And this Arpanam, meaning to say that spoon in which that food and spatula what is keeping, that is also Brahman. And the rice which is kept on it, that is also Brahman. And after saying that, Brahmagnau Hutam, in that Brahman only you are also being offered. Hutam means has been offered. Okay, Hutam. And number 8, Brahma Karma Samadhina. And Brahma Karma Samadhina, Tena Brahma Eva, Brahma Karma Samadhina, Tena Gantavyam Brahma Eva. So what he's saying is that Brahma Karma Samadhina, that the whole karyam, this karma, the whole karma itself is it's a compound word. So Brahma Karma Samadhi means everything in this particular action of this karma is really truly the Brahma, and that in that Brahman is only everything has been pravilinam, praviliyate becomes a samadhi here. Okay, so what he's saying is by that complete totality of the karma samagram praviliyate, that is the Brahma Karma Samadhina. Tena gantavyam, by that whole gantavyam means that which has really reached. In the whole, reached means in what that is to be abstracted. The reached means that which is to be in the end. Where does it all reach and merges into is Brahma Eva 11 and 12. There is nothing else. So as we were saying, listen back to that previous college when so this is all is a complete extrapolation of explanation of the seva karmanya karmaya pashet. You remember we said in the last class or the last before the previous class when I said the speaker is also Brahman, but the instrument is also Brahman, and the transmitting medium is Brahman, the listener is also Brahman. In everything there is nothing but Brahman. That is what this Bhagavan is also saying, even from a normal action, that when somebody is doing a homam. Now, why Bhagavan has chosen this means, in a person after doing the Brahma Karma, Akarma Pashet, Sarva Karmani, okay, then what is he doing is he is doing every action as with that Brahma Chintanam. So for him, everything is akarma, meaning to say India means Atman. So to do that only, Bhagavan wanted to take it in an explanation of a karma. And for that karma, Bhagavan has chosen a very holiest and holiest of action as a homam. That even when we do this particular holiest of action as a homam, that which is a Agni homam with all the Agni, in that also everything is Bhagavan says a Brahman. And very important to understand here is also, what about the fruit? The fruit is also Brahman. So there is a three things here: Karaka, Kriya, and Phalam. Though the fruits has not been referential here is a Gantavyam. You can take it as a fruit. Tena Gantavyam. The fruit also is Brahman. See, very important when we say this particular word Brahma and Brahma. Very important. Brahma means Brahman. Brahma means Chaturmukha Brahma. Both the root word is the same, Brahman. But only thing is, when we take, just for people who know Sanskrit and also for you, all of you, it is very important. When we say Chaturmukha Brahma, the Brahman Shabdam is Pullingaha. So it becomes Brahma. But when we take Brahman as the absolute Brahman, it is actually Nakaranta Napumsaka Lingaha Brahman. See, Brahman itself is gender free. It is gender free. Even in that. So that is why when we say the absolute Brahman, Nakaranta Napumsakalinga Brahman, we say Brahma, Brahmani, Brahma, like that. The Shabda very, but you don't have to worry. Just for the first word, just keep it in mind that whenever we say Brahma, just a Brahma, that is actually the absolute Brahman. But Brahma, when we say, that is Chaturmukha Brahma. That Chaturmukha Brahma is not what is referenced here. Just wanted to also let you know that one. So what Bhagavan say here is the akarma brahmaiva satyam. Akarma is only a very contextual word. But what Bhagavan wanted to say here is that brahmaiva satyam, that though I have said in that karmani akarma pashet, in that akarma, what is really the Brahman, that Brahman itself is the only true satyam, or the only factor in which everything is merged and comes out and merges into. Okay, so because in this is a jnana karma sannyasam yoga, Bhagavan brought this more into the references of that. And here also by doing that, what Bhagavan is really saying is the triputis, that the triple modes, as we say in the transaction reality, really they are all only Maya. He is indirectly saying that, but though he did not say this, when everything he has said is Brahman, there is nothing except the Brahman. But whatever that we do on this, they are all only Upadhi. Upadhi means, I don't want to go put too much into that one. People who know Upadhi, they are all only Upadhi Sahita Karyam. Okay, so what Krishna wants to say is, when he is doing this, say for example, when there is a conch, in the conch sometimes appears like a silver. He doesn't see that silver, but he only sees the conch in that. And he knows that the appearance of conch is just not truly the reality. So the jnani, a jnani who has seen this completely, karmanya karmashed, though is involved in all these action, all he sees is really truly the Brahman. And this can be taken in all the other yagyam that Bhagavan will come in this particular subsequent verses, which we will go through one by one. And I've sent you one particular reference material. Actually, I should have had that in my... Let me see if I can download it so that you can also... Oh my God. Okay, though never mind. I have shared with you. I can't share it in the screen now. Though I might be able to take it from... okay. You all have it in front of you. You know the one table form matrix I have sent you all by WhatsApp. I'm not able to present it today because I think I sent it by WhatsApp, but it is not with me. Okay. Have you got it all? I hope you have all received it through WhatsApp. I'm not able to open WhatsApp here, but that's okay. There are about 12 different type of yagyam that Bhagavan is going to say from the verse number 24 up to verse number 29, which is what we will see. And in all of them, what we are going to see is this: what is the Havis, what is the Agni, what is this Homam. And that will be the more explanation of this particular expansion, not explanation, expansion of this particular Brahmaarpanam, Brahmahavihi, Brahmagno, Brahmanahutam. Okay, so, okay, Ganapati Ramanji, can you chant after me? Daivame, okay, Daivameva pare yagyam.
Daivameva pare yagyam. Daivameva pare yagyam.
Yoginaf paryupasate.
Yoginaf paryupasate. Yoginaf paryupasate.
Brahmagnava pare yagyam.
Brahmagnava pare yagyam. Brahmagnava pare yagyam.
Yajnenaivopajuhvati.
Yajnenaivopajuhvati. Yajnenaivopajuhvati.
Very good, very good. So here again, Bhagavan is going to explain more. And again, I wanted to again say one more reference more in this chapter, in this verse, previous number 24. When he is doing this particular yogi as a Brahman in everything, it is not a true bhavana. It is a jnana purvaka karyam. It is not like as if he is imposing something and doing it. No, it's absolutely jnanam of a realized one for him seeing in all this action. So that's how he is going to, and Shankara goes by saying it is not like as if it's a worshipping, because when you worship, for example, Mahavishnu in Saligramam and Paramashiva in the Spatikalingam, etc., there we actually have the Bhagavan, Vishnu and Shiva in that particular Rupam, and then we are doing, there's a transactional action. Very important from a Tattva Artham. Those are all transactional action. But here, this Brahmagno Brahmanavayam, there is no transaction. It's everything is jnana purvakam, because when that jnanam is in him, when he is doing this, that particular one is completely, there is no bhavana that I have to think. It's a completely realized factor of his faculty of action. Sakshat is doing it with that Brahma Jnanam. That's the main difference. It is not through a bhakti. Bhakti, though it is very important, those are as a sadhana, but here it's all through the samadhina. That it is a completely a realized factor by which he does this. That's what I wanted to say. So now Bhagavan will keep on saying apare, apare. Apare means in other forms of, in what all the transactions we do. So he says, apare, number 2, yoginaha, yogis, this bahuvachanam. Apare, there are other type of yogis, yoginaha. What do they do? Daivam yagyam paryupasate. Daivam yagyam eva, daivam yagyam eva paryupasate. Okay. Daivam yagyam eva paryupasate. 4, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there are other yogis. Okay. These are the typical, what he's saying is, other yogis. In this, the daivam is the transactional one. That is why I said this was non-transactional, in which a yogi, even if you, but what Bhagavan wanted to say is, even from a transactional mode, if you see, everything is Brahman. Even from a Chitta Shuddhi, that these are, this first line is pertaining to a karma yogi. So the karma yogi, what he does, like most of us, like, nishkama karma, what do we said? Bhagavan, I'm not having that kind of a Brahman knowledge. It seems like, but let me visualize Krishna and everything. Krishna, I am the offerer, you are this offering, and this is I am offering to you. Say if somebody is doing like that, which is what most of us do. In that also, what Bhagavan says, apare. This apare is equal to most of the karma yogis. Those karma yogis, daivam, in this factor, daivam means that worshipping daivam. It could be Shiva, Vishnu, Ambal, Ganesha, any of them. Those daivam, Indra, Soma, Surya Bhagavan, any of the daivam, eva, the daivam yagyam, that sacrificial offering yagyam. Here yagyam means like, danam, everything. Karmani, paryupasate means with the right procedure. Paryupasate become paryupasate, with the right procedure of worshipping in everything. Shodasha puja, whatever that particular puja what you did, in all these as well, it is actually the same Triputi, and the Triputi goes to Brahman. Now, if you open up your referential sheet that I have sent you, let us see what are the Havis and everything. In this Yagyam, let us call this first line as a Daiva Yagyam. We'll do with this itself, no problem. I'm recording. So here, let us call this first one as a Daiva Yagyam, like what we do daily puja, like what we do, anything that we take few flowers. Now we did before starting the class. That is a Daiva Yagyam. In that Daiva Yagyam, what is the Havis? The Agni is Daivam in this. Because you're offering to that, like where you're putting the fruits in front of Bhagavan, where you're putting the flowers in front of the Bhagavan. So here, what is the Agni here? Agni is a Daivam here. Here is that Agni is the Daivam. And the Havis is whatever that you've taken, either it be a fruit, either it be a flower, and any action, dhanam, service. For example, you may go and say tomorrow, okay, I am just going to do cleaning around the temple, or I'm just going to do some service to somewhere, so somebody in a hospital. Even that, when you say, I'm doing, in that action also, that action is a Havis. Your action itself is a Havis. And Agni is that to the Ikshvara to whom you are arpaning. So Ishvara arpana karma, that is also a Brahma karma samadhina. So this is pertaining to most of the karma yogis as we are doing. So what Krishna wanted to say, even when you do a Daiva Yagyam, Arjuna, have this particular thing in your mind, that it is also Brahman. This is nothing different from that. And how we have understood this? By seeing that the Havis is your action, or the fruits, or the flowers, and the Agni is the Daivameva. And that whatever karma yogi that you are doing, that is a yajna. Okay. The next one in the second line. So that is one I've called it as a Daiva Yajnam. The first line. In that man, the table what I've got in via WhatsApp, it will be there. Then the second one is, we are calling it as a Brahmajnana Yajnam. Now, I've got all these ones, thankful to my Guru, Swami Omkarana Swami. So how he has explained it, I have put it into this matrix and given it to you as well. These are all extrapolated from there. Now, just to tell you the source how we've got this. Now, Apare, number 7, Apare, Brahmagna, Apare, how do they do? Brahmagna, Brahmagna, Yagnaihi, Yagnam, Yagnena Eva Upajuhvati. Sorry, this is Yagnena Eva, Yagnena. Then Upajuhvati becomes Upajuhvati. So the splitting is Yagnena Eva Upajuhvati. So Apare, this Apare is pertaining to the sannyasis, the ashrama sannyasi. And Apare, this is the Sankhyas. That is, the Lokesmin Vividanishta, Jnana Yogena Sankhyanam, that Sanyasinaha. So ashrama sannyasi, because why Bhagavan wanted to say that normally the ashrama sannyasis, they don't do any Agni karma. They normally don't do any Agni karma. So that is why Bhagavan wanted to put this one. How do they do means, they do Apare, this is pertaining to those people, Brahmagna Yagnam. So what they're saying is, in that fire of Brahman and the Brahmajnana knowledge, in that itself, they do. Again, in that Brahmagni itself, that is their knowledge, they don't do anything into the fire. They do it unto themselves. Meaning to say that Atma Jnanam Eva, they are there all the time. Everything else is in the externally. They do not do any transaction. When they do transaction, it is just for Loka Sangraham. That's all. So, Apare, Brahmagna, by that, what they have got, that Brahmagni as a realized knowledge of that Brahma Agni Jnanam, the Brahma Jnanam, that Brahmagna is the Brahma Jnanam. Brahma Jnanam, Yaggena Eva. So, that Brahma Jnana Yaggena Eva. Okay, with that itself, Upajuhvati, in that only they are doing it. So in that Brahmajnana Yagyam, what is that one? That is all the upadhis. Even though they may be doing that upadhis, their actions of their, all their karanam, whatever they may be doing, but in where does it go into? Brahman also. So that means they are depositing that small I into the big I. That is what is the second line. So the Brahmajnana Yajna, that is called Brahmajnana Yajnam, though it is called, that's why I put as Brahmagna is equal to Brahmajnana Yajnam. So this Brahmajnana, because for them there is no other actions that really as what we do. Because they are ashrama sannyasi. From their aspect as well, Arjuna, whatever they do is also typically from their triputi. Because even though sannyasis, they are there, our acharyas performs puja, right? So in that also when they do, everything is in that Brahmajnanam, and the total Brahmajnana Nishtha. That Brahmajnana Nishtha, and that Nishtha only they are doing everything. Only for Loka Sangraham. That also Bhagavan says, everything is Brahman. Even in their Triputi, everything is Brahman. For Karma Yogi as well, everything is Brahman. Okay? So are you with me in this so far? Next one. From practicing the different yogis, because we are, what Krishna wanted to say is, look, this is, we don't want to keep this Brahmaarpanam, Brahmahavihi as a kind of a, oh, these are all sometime when I attain that kind of a Brahmajnanam, until then I can't have that bhavana. Bhagavan says, no. That is the beauty of Bhagavad Gita. Everything that is applicable for an ultimate jnani or beyond the mumukshu and the jivan mukta is applicable to them. That is why Bhagavad Gita is applicable to everybody. So that's why Bhagavan says whenever he starts a particular concept from a very high level, then he brings it down to a lower level of a particular person, maybe in whatever stage, maybe today he is going to start karma yoga. For him also this sarva brahma jnana, brahma, brahma, the triputi rahita brahma jnana yajnam is possible, Bhagavan says, in whatever you do. And that's how Bhagavan is taking. That is the reason Bhagavan wanted to say that in different context as well. This triputi is negated. Okay, so okay, Yatish Bhaiya, can you chant after me, please?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Shrotraadinindriyanyanye
Shotadinindriyan anye. Shotradinindriyan anye.
samyamagnishu juhvati
Samyama agnishu juhvati. Samyama agnishu juhvati.
shabdadin vishayan yanye
Shabdadin vishayan anye. Shabdadin vishayan anye.
indriyagnishu juhvati.
Indriya agnishu juhvati. Indriya agnishu juhvati.
Okay, so this verse number 26, I have sent you that one. Again, this is again from a person who is doing, say for example, the first line is anye. Anye same as apare. Anye means there are other people, Arjuna. Anye. How do they do? Shrotradini. Shrotradini means that all that they are listening from. You know, whatever they are listening here means all that is going input, like whatever they may be grasping in that internal organs, in that same in their internal organs, all the karanam, all the karanam, eyes, ears, touch, nose, and everything. The five sense organs are the organs of knowledge. Shrotradin is the organs of knowledge. Indriyani, Shrotradini, Indriyani. Those indriyani, where do they deposit? Samyam agnishu juhvati. So what is the Agni here? So because let's first understand what is the Agni in every verse, right? So in this, the Samyam Agni is the total sublimation of that Atma Jnanam eva. So what Bhagavan wanted to say, this is something like a complete Indriya. Okay, let's give an Yagyam name for this one. I've given you in the matrix, okay? Indriya Samyama Yagyam. Indriya Samyama Yagyam. So Indriya is here, Samyama is here. So meaning to say, from Ashtanga Yoga, when you come to say, for example, you know, you have got this Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi, right? In this one, this is equal to, the first line is actually the Dharana, Dhyana, and Samadhi. Because in that yoga, at that time, when you do a dharana and dhyana and samadhi, everything is internalized. Everything is internalized. So when he is internalized everything, that internalized into what? In the samyamagnishu, into the Atman. So here also, in that samyamagni is just sublimated into his Atma Jnanam. And what he's doing is retracting all the sense organs into its original places. Yeah, in fact, Swasva Golake, there is a particular one which I think, yes, that's right. The Shrotradini means, again, as we said, the hearing, seeing, smelling, and the of all of them. And that is a Havis. So here, the Shrotradini is the Havis. They are the Havis. Because there is a transactional action. So that one, in the Indriyani, that is a touch and everything. And where is he putting it to? Samyama Agnishu. That's a fire called the Samyama in the Atma Jnanam. Jukhvati. In that, when he says deposits, means in that he has retracted themselves because he has gone into that Dharana Dhyana Samadhi from a yogi. And then other person, okay, so that is a Indriya Samyama Yagyam. And the next one from 6, Anye. See this, because Anye becomes here because of this vowel here. So Anye, other person, Shabdadin. Shabdadin. Shortradin means it's internal input that is coming in. Shabdadin means that which is going outward, right? Because from the same mouth, when you speak, it is going out. When you eat, it is going inside. So that one is the first one, Shrotradin, which is the organs of knowledge. Here the organs of action. So the Shabdadin Vishayan Yanye. So Anye, Shabdadin Vishayan Indriyagnishu Juhvati. So what he is saying is, okay, now in the initial stage, when he's not in a dharana, dhyana, samadhi, when he's in a transactional reality with the external object, even there, all the external objects. So this is a, let us call it as a Indriyagni Yagyam. Indriyagni Yagyam. So taking it, the previous one was Indriya Samyama Yagyam. Here it is just a Indriyagni Yagyam. In the Indriyagni Yagyam, what is the Agni? The Agni is the self-control. That self-control of when he's seeing something, he's saying, okay, these ones are not for the for not my pleasure. These are not for my interest. You know, that kind of a sense organ retraction. That whatever I see, these are all just for the purely for transactional purpose, but I have got nothing to do with this. When he is doing that kind of a self, that is called Damaha. Sense controls, right? Because whenever we try to go out, when we try to say, for example, that's why he said Shabdadin, when we speak something, there is some, because there is going to be some reaction coming from the outside world. Whenever we do an action, there is going to be a reaction. When that reaction comes, he stops it at that minute and he says, that is not up to my personal, this particular identity. He retracts it from there. That is why he says, Indriya Agnishu Juhvati. In that same Indriya where it is come, my mouth has spoken and something has spoken back, or I have touched and something has happened, but I have got nothing else to do. I have, okay. So in this Shabdadin Vishayanyanye, Indriya Agnishu, this is a Damaha. And that's what Bhagavan says in Viveka Chudamani when we say Dhamma. Dhammaha means this sense control. Sense control. The first one was a mind control, because in that all the mental faculties internally were controlled in the first one. Here, sense control. In the sense control, what we say is Vishaye Bhyaf, in the Viveka Chudamani it comes Vishaye Bhyaf Paravartya Sthapanam Swaswa Golake Ubayesham Indriyanam Sadamaf Parikirtitaha. There Bhagavan says, Viveka Chudamani, see, all these 5 sense organs, they have got a golakam. Golakam means the eyes, though these eyes or these ears and everything, though they are functionally, mouth has got a dual function, external and internal, but they have got an internal orb, O-R-B. Meaning to say, they have got a, because if that is not functioning, the eyes purely cannot function to take any knowledge inside. So what he does is he takes the eyes as what they are seeing, just deposits in that one, but nothing goes external, internal to him, doesn't touch him, does not afflict him in anything else. So that is what is coming in this particular Shabdadin Vishayanyanye. In that, what is coming is a self-control. That self-control is that Agni. That's why we say that self-control itself is an Agni. He's like Agni. You cannot, when they say, no, when Vishwamitra was sitting there, when there's done, they said his self-control is like Agni. Menaka couldn't go near him. He says to Indra, I could not go. His self-control is like an Agni. That's what happened, right? When Shiva is sitting on the penance, Kamadeva says, no, he's the one who can go and give that Kama Agni to anyone. But when he came to Shiva, Shiva opened his third eye, his Agni, his tapas Agni. So these are all something like a tapas, as an austerity. So that particular one is what is here, that is Agni here. That self-control is Agni. So that whenever there is a transaction happening, that Agni, in that he deposits. And what happens to anything that you deposit in it? It praviliyate, Brahman praviliyate. In that only it just sublimes. Nothing. That in that Agni, he just does the nasham of that bijam and the fruits then and there. Nothing touches him or her. That's what is the second one. And this is a Indriya Agni Yagnam. Okay. Next one. Okay, Shiva, can you chant after me?
Yes.
Sarvani Indriya Karmani.
Sarvani Indriya Karmani. Sarvani Indriya Karmani.
Prana Karmani Chapare.
Prana Karmani Chapare. Prana Karmani Chapare.
Atma Samyama Yogagnau.
Atma Sayyama Yogagnau. Atma Sayyama Yogagnau.
Juhvati Jnana Deepite.
Dipite. Juhvati Jnana Dipite.
Very good. So in that matrix, what I sent you in WhatsApp, we are on the number 5, the 5th Yagnam. We have covered so far 4 Yagnam through the verse 25. 25 we saw 2 Yagnam. In 26 we saw 2 Yagnam. Now we are coming to verse number 27, the 5th Yagnam. For this 5th Yagnam, Bhagavan gives a name called Atma Samyama Yogi Agnam. Atma Samyama Yoga Agni. Agnau, the Saptami Vakti, but Atma Samyama Yoga Agni. See here, there wherein Bhagavan is given you Agni, what is here? Indriya Agni. Here, Agni is the Indriyam. That's Vasva Golake I told you. Here, Samyama Agni, because that is that Dharana, that is Agni. Everything else is Havis. So you understood? Here, 1, 2, 3 is a Havis. This is Agni. Here, this is all is the Havis. This is Agni. So by looking at the thing itself, you can see most of him here. Same thing here. Whereas here he did not clearly say Yagni. Agni is what is Havis, but I've given you in the matrix. Here it is very clear. So when you read these shlokas, you must be able to directly see where is the Agni, where is the Havis. Similarly, here in this whole 27 verse, there is only one Agni. Are you with me? So just you have to be very careful in say, because we are doing analytical studies. Otherwise, I can just do the literal meaning and walk away. But when we do this analytical study, we know the inner meaning of Krishna's teaching in these and apply it accordingly in whatever transaction we are doing. So here, this particular Atma Samyama Yoga Agni. So this one is a Atma Samyama Yagnam. In this, what Bhagavan is saying, Sarvani, Apare, again, Apare, another people, Sarvani Indriya Karmani, everything. Sarvani, it could be either be transactional, apare, Sarvani, all the actions. Here, basically, what Bhagavan is saying, look, whether he is want to take it as a dharana or dhyana, he is just living in the meditation. Whatever, whether he is doing a puja or he is sleeping, he is walking, he is anything. In all the states, in all states of his action. That's why Sarvani Indriya Karmani. Karmani means in that action. In all states of the actions that he may be doing, whether he's sleeping or that, all the 3 avastha. In that one, Sapare, though he's a living in that meditation of Brahmagni. And please make a note of it. There is will be one full chapter on this particular one. Chapter 6 is nothing but an explanation of this whole thing. That is why chapter 6 is also called Dhyana Yoga or Atma Samyama Yoga. So so you can make a note of it. This verse number 27 is completely equal to chapter 6. Chapter 6 is just nothing but a complete explanation of this Dhyana Yoga, we says, or Atma Samyama Yoga. Because what Bhagavan wanted to say that is, it is just not that at one moment in his life of or particular yoga or anything, it is in all states of his particular living, that Sarvani Indriya Karmani, both karmendriyam, jnanendriyam, and even when both are sublime, karmani, whatever karmani, voluntary, involuntary, prana karmani, that there are a lot of involuntary action which may happen. For example, hunger, thirst, and everything. You can't create hunger, you can't create thirst. So even in that involuntary action, because involuntary action happens by the prana, the jivan, right from his breath up to the last breath, that prana karmani, right? It is though he is, even when he is fasting, you can say, but that Bhagavan will come in another sloka of subseeding. But what he wants is, in totality, everything, even if you take prana karmani, cha, what does he do in that one? Jnana deepite, in the total knowledge itself, the jnanam itself. Jnana deepite, that is Saptami Vibhakti. Jnana deepite, on that kindle, on that kindle of knowledge. That knowledge is that Vivekam and Vairagyam. In that one, Atma Samyama Yoga Agni. That is Saptami. Atma, meaning to say that Atma Samyama means in that total Atman, that is the Brahman, in that alone he is all the time. He is only in the team of Akarma Eva Pashyat, in everything. In that Juhvati, in that he sublimes. In this one, he puts all the 17 elements. I think I've sent you in that one as well. 17 elements mean what? All the Sukshma Shariram as well. See, because in these one, there are sometimes Stula Shariram, sometimes there is a Sukshma Shariram. Here he says the complete Sukshma Shariram. Sukshma Shariram means 5 Karmendriyam. So 5 Karmendriyam, 5, then plus 5 Jnanendriyam, 10, then 5 Pranendriyam, Prana, Apana, involuntary action, 15, then mind and Buddhi as well, 17. All 17 he has deposited into that particular in that Brahman. That means he is a kind of a living in a meditative life. So he's, whatever he says, sees, is just nothing but Brahman. Even when he is having hunger, it's a Brahman he knows that is having the hunger. Because anybody, that is a natural biological thing, or voluntary, involuntary, and everything, that is what he is living. That's what he said about this particular 27, that Atma Samyama Yogni. Here it is a complete Sukshma Shariram. All the 17 elements has been covered. In these ones, 5 elements of Karmendriyam, 5 Jnanendriyam, but here the 17 elements. That is the only difference between 26 and 27. I hope it is clear. That is why Bhagavan, so Bhagavan never repeats the same thing in another sloka. There is always more inner meaning in when Bhagavan says, and 27 is expanded more in chapter 6 in detail. Okay, now next one. Okay, Venkat, can you chant after me, please?
Okay, yeah. Yep.
Dravya yajnastapo yajnaha.
Dravya yajnasta tabo yajna.
Yajnaha.
Yajna.
Yoga yajnastatha pare.
Yoga yajnastatha pare. Yoga yajnastatha pare.
Very good. Swadhyaya jnana yajnascha. Swadhyaya jnana yajnascha. I can't hear you, Venkat.
Yajnas. Oh, Swadhya.
Yeah.
Swadhya jnana yajnasta.
Yataya samshita vrataha.
Yatayas spari dravyata. Yatayas spari dravyata.
Okay. Samshita vrataha. Samshita vrataha. Okay. Okay. So we will go into that one. So what he says, apare. So apare means other people. Here again, what Bhagavan wants to capsulate is a lot of those yagyam. So we have finished from that chart what I sent you in the WhatsApp. So far, how many? 5 we have finished. Now we are coming to the 6th yagyam. So that's a shloka number 28. In shloka number 28, there are 4 yagyam. So shloka number 26, there was only 1 yagyam. In this, we have to see 4 yagyam. That means 4 Agni, 4 Havis. Okay. So first is the Dravya yagyam, apare. So 1 yagyam is Dravya yagyam. Dravya yagyam means what? That is, Dravya means, there is a material yagyam. Dravya means your material yagyam. And the material yagyam, see, that could be anything. For example, you are doing some charity. That is also a yagyam. So when he's doing charity, what is the Agni? Agni is a deserving person. Or you are doing it to a particular, say, organization. That organization is Agni. And your wealth and possession, or you are saying that $10 or $100, that is the Havis. That's all. So the Dravyam is the Havis. The Agni is the person to whom it has been offered. The target person or the institution or the entity. Let's put it just as an entity. The deserving entity. It has to be a deserving entity. See, what happens is, why I'm saying this is not that everything becomes a yajna. For example, whenever we offer something like a yajnam, there has to be Agni. Never, there is a rule in Vedas. Sorry. Never offer anything into the smoke. Meaning to say, whenever we are doing this havan, people will say, hey, Agni को बराबर रखो, अग्नि को रखो, क्योंकि अग्नि में हम यो होम करना चाहिए. अग्नि बिना कभी होम नहीं कर सकता है. कभी, when the Agni is completely sublimed, when there is only smoke, you should never do. Similarly, whenever you are doing this charity and something, here Agni, why I said, is a deserving candidate. Only then it is a yagyam. So giving it to non-deserving entities is not that's why it's called Desha Kala Patra. Bhagavan will say in chapter number 17. Dhanam also, 3 important things. So when you do a Dravya yagyam, that's because of Dravya yagyam I'm saying. When you do a Dravya yagyam, 3 conditions, Desha, Kala, Patram. If these 3 entities are absolutely qualified entities, then it is a Dravya yagyam. The institution has to be a qualified place, and you should do it at the right time, at the right place. So then it is a Dravya yagyam. And so, but in however saying, they are all procedures. So we're not interested in the procedure, but in that particular offering is what we are saying. So that the deserving candidate is the Agni and the Dravyam is the Havis. Okay. Next one is Tapo Yajna. That's the number 7 in the matrix I've sent you. Tapo Yajna means that he is doing a tapas. For example, the tapas is an austerity. Okay, so it could be anything that there is a kind of some kind of a worldly pleasure that suddenly the person is subjected. Sometimes, whether you like it or not, you are there in that place. But he says, look, tapo yajna, in that austerity, the tapas itself is, that's why it's called Agni. So here the Agni is that austerity or the truthfulness. Satyam, that itself is Satya Agni. In that, he is doing all the sense pleasures. Because the senses are always in the engaging mode in the world. So when the senses are engaging, in that engagement, he does feel some pleasures. Oh, this is nice. But what he says is, in that there is a tapas Agni, that he says, no, I'm not going to kind of be engaged in this particular one today, because say, for example, you've all done this particular 4 o'clock test, or in your 11:30 time to be in that itself is a tapo Agni. Probably you could have done something else. You could have, but you're saying, no, for this particular one, I'm relinquishing some pleasures. Or when a pleasure come automatically at some time, but you are saying, no, in my austerity, I won't do this. That tapas itself is an Agni, and that sense pleasure is the Havis. You have put that pleasure of the pleasure as a Havis into that austerity. So austerity is the Agni. So that is a tapo yajna. Any tapas, in that tapas itself is a Agni. Understood? Okay. That is a tapo yajnam. And also Bhagavan Omkar says, adharmam into dharmam is also tapo yajna. Sometimes, some adharma activity comes in front of us, whether we like it or not in this world, but he puts it into the dharma. That is also is a tapo yajna. Adharmam into dharmam is also one. And all the Vedic injunctions, they are all tapo yajna. There is a beautiful one in the other Vedas, but I will not go there. So that also is a tapo yajna. All the rules that you are following by that itself is a tapo yajna. And then yoga yajna. This number 5 yoga yajna, this number 5, which is actually is the number 8 in the matrix, the table, that is just nothing but the Ashtanga yoga. Here yoga yajna is the Ashtanga yoga, where though it was also before it was there, but here the complete asana, pranayama, yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, all the complete Ashtanga yoga is this particular 5. So in this also, Ashtanga yoga, the Havis is your body and mind. And the Agni is the Ashtanga yoga. So in the 5 Ashtanga yoga, number 5, we take it as a yoga yajnam. The body and mind is the Havis, and the Ashtanga yoga is the Agni. Okay. Tata yoga yajna. Similarly, the yoga yajna. And so we have finished 3 yajnas in this particular shloka. Dravya yajna, tapo yajna, yoga yajna. When I said yoga yajna, is this Ashtanga yoga yajna. Tata yoga yajna. Then number 6, which is one samshita vrataha swadhyaya yajna. So this is samshita vrataha. That samshita vrataha means that one was taken this vratam. That he says, look, I'm going to do my own self-discipline by which I'm going to practice this. And like, parayanam, etc. So yes, vratam means he has taken a particular vow. For example, this masam is called Adhika Masam in some places. So, they take a vow saying that, look, every day I will chant portions from Ramayana. And that day Ashad was saying that is a kind of a thing you do. Or some Somavara puja that you are doing. So all these are a vrata. So samshita vrata, one which has been taken properly with a vratam, and even ahimsa in this also is the same thing. Brahmacharyam, ahimsa, everything is a vratam. Samshita vrataha, that which has been taken with a vow, saying that yes, I am going to do this for 48 days, all those things in that one. And yatayaha, so that is, this is people yati means, we say they are doing some something that they are not normally used to, but they are subjecting themselves into this. Everybody does this. For everybody it is applicable, because there is some right place and time when you do this. They give some atma jnana for all this, for the people who are in this atma shuddhi happens. So they do this. They are very conducive. And what is that one is called swadhyaya jnana yajna. So in this, that particular self-discipline, and by doing that, that itself, and swadhyaya, in that self-discipline, what happens in the end? Jnana yagyam. This itself is a jnana yagyam. So in this, the Agni is the jnanam, the chitta shuddhi. And in the Havis is the vratam. In this, the Havis is the vratam. that you take specially for that particular, and Samshita Vratam and Swadhyaya. Because it's a self. For example, you may say, look, I'm going to chant this particular Gita every day, 2 shloka, or 5 something. That is a Swadhyaya. By taking an vow, and then you do a self-discipline action. This Samshita Vrataha, Vratam, and the Swadhyayam, that is the Havis. For what? For the Jnanam. That is the Agni. For a Jnana Prapti, by the Yatayaha. By the Yatis, are the one who are doing this disciplinary. So this itself is a Yagnam as well, and that is a Swadhyaya Jnana Yagnam. The Swadhyaya Jnana Yagnam, the Havis is the Samshita Vratam, and the Swadhyayam, and the Havis, the Agni is the Jnanam. Okay, 29 and 30, I want to finish this today, so please excuse me for another 5 minutes. I have to finish 29 and 30, so finish. So we have finished so far 9 Yagnam. Okay, so we just got 3 more to go in this one. Okay, Devinaji, can you chant after me? I think I saw you there. Oh, she's gone. Okay, KKG, Krishna Kumar, can you chant after me, please?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, we'll chant 29 and 30 together.
Okay.
Apane jukvati pranam.
Apane juhvati pranam. Apane juhvati pranam.
Prane panam tata pare.
Prane panam tata pare. Prane panam tata pare.
Pranapana gati rudva.
Pranapanagati rudva. Pranapanagati rudva.
Pranayama parayanaha.
Pranayama parayanaha. Pranayama parayanaha.
Apare niyataharaha.
Apare niyataraha.
Ahara. Apare niyataharaha.
Apate niyatahara.
Pranan praneshu juhvati.
Pranan praneshu juvyati. Pranan praneshu juvyati.
Sarve pyete yajnavidaha.
Sarve pyete yajan
Yajnavidaha.
yagyavidaha.
Yajnakshapita kalmashaha.
Yagyakshapita kalmashaha.
Kalmashaha.
Kalmasha. Yagye shapita kalmasha.
Okay. So here Bhagavan wants to take 3 yajnam. And they are normally here, Bhagavan is referring to the normal pranayama here. The pranayama, whenever we do, there is a purakam, rechakam, kumbhakam. That 3 he is going to take, and that's what we will say here. And also he is taking about fasting here. Fasting, like, we do a lot, the Ekadasha Vratam, like, that we won't take anything. People have different ones, like, only with the near Jala. Some people say, okay, I will take a little bit of only this tiffin, something like that. All of that Bhagavan is saying. They are also in everything, there is only Brahman. In everything, same thing. So as we see in that all of them, the Bhagavan's name, again giving all this example, is to identify the Havis and Agni. Then once that is taken, then it comes as a homam. Then that we know that in this, how to visualize the Brahman in each of them. Okay, so he says, apare, apane pranam juhvati. Apane means there is a apana vayu, like pranavayu, apanavayu, right? The apanavayu, which is there just above the nabi, in that the pranavayu, juhvati, they are deposited, right? So in this, the apanavayu is the Agni, the pranan is the Havis. Are you with me? Apanavayu. So what is this one? Breathing in, purakam. So purakam, you may do as we do, some factor of say 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 15 seconds. So he is taking the prana, putting it on the apana agni. In that also he is thinking, okay, I am taking the Brahman, I am depositing it into Brahman, and my Havis is the pranan, my Agni is apanam, and that is what I am doing. So imagine, even in that small action of we breathing in air, you can do that Brahmaarpanam. Very easy. When we take that one, so this is a Purakam. So in this particular one, Purakam, in that pour pranam into the apana yagni. So that is one particular one. And in that we can do it as a, I've given a name, Antar Pranayama Yagyam. So, or you can put it also as a Puraka Yagyam, but you can put it as Antar Pranayama Yagyam. In that. So you see, now when we do even normal pranayamam, how we can practice these particular verses. Then other one, tata, similarly, panan, apanam into prane. Prane, this is Saptami. Apanam into prane. Meaning to say this apanam becomes the Havis, pranam becomes the Agni. Reversing it. What is that one? Rechakam. Right? When you exhale. So when you exhale, there is a pranavayu which is there all the time, by which this one is able to breathe out. What are you exhaling this? The one that from the apanavayu, which is internal, into the external one. That's all. So while he's doing it also, he's saying this as a Havis, and this one apanam is the Havis, and pranavayu is the Agni. So that is what we call as Bahya Pranayama Yagyam. Bahya Pranayama Yagyam. This 6 and 7. Then we come into the 8th one. Then I will come to this one, okay? Because that is why this is 2 are taken together. Then apare niyataharaha. Apane niyataharaha. Apare niyataharaha. What they do is, what he says is, of others who have completely regulated their food. Is very important. Water, etc. Everything. So that in this, when they do all the pancha pranas, because that is why we say, right, when we do a nevedyam, pranaya swaha, apana swaha, vyana swaha, udana swaha. So all of them, the pancha prana. So when in this niyataharaha, what really is means that niyatam, that it has been voluntarily regulated with no intake of any food of any type. Niyataharaha, these are all adjective for that person. With that one, and what do they do? Pranayama parayanaha. And this person is now going to do all the pancha pranan. In that he was doing the Havis with only one pranan into the Agni of other pranan. In this, what he is doing is all the pancha pranan. That is why this is different. Just not kumbhakam. But this is completely all the pancha pranan. Because this is all Bhagavan will come in the chapter 8 as well. Okay, so in this apare niyata, and for that the intake of the food and regulation is very important for the pancha pranan, because the nadis have to be regulated. Though I'm not going into that one, it is all there in this Patanjali Yoga Sutram. So it is all important for the nadis to be regulated and cleansed before this pancha prana is done. So, but this is pranayama parayanaha. That is means in this all the pancha pranagni has been well regulated, with also not with the proper administration of food, whether taken or not taken as well. Pranayama parayanaha, these are all adjective. Pranayama parayanaha. With that, what do they do? Pranapana gati ridhva. The pranan and apana gati, they have a, because you cannot stop it, right? The prana has to go into either apana, or apana has to, prana has to go into either apana, or apana has to go to prana. In Helen expression, you cannot stop it. But these people have stopped both of them. Prana, apana, gati. Both of them, they have ridhva. Ridhva means completely regulated or stopped it. Ridhva, what have they done? Pranan praneshu juhvati. The 5 pancha pranan into the pranan itself. Okay, so the energy placed in the right place, wherever it is there, they have sublimated into that other one. This is a very serious kumbhaka type of a kumbhakam, but this is also called panchapranaya. Panchapran. So in this, the panchapranan is the Havis. All the panchapuka, that is the nature, panchapranan. And this one is a swastya pranagni. Swastya pranagni means in that same Agni as of his shariram, when the Jivan is there, he is doing it. And that is also a kumbhakam, but this is a just not normal kumbhakam. What we do is do neither inhale or exhale and then keep it. But in this, it is a completely the panchapranan into the pranan, praneshu juhvati. This is that very serious level of a pranayamam. In that also, even if in all of them, pranan, praneshu juhvati, then number 16, ete sarve. All of them also api, ete sarve api. Even if all of them, in all of them, ete yajna kshapita kalmashaha yajna vidaha. Yajna kshapita kalmashaha means that kalmisham means there is a ashuddham. So that ashuddham has been removed. Yajna kshapita kalmashaha, that nullified, all the impurities thus been nullified for the Atma Shuddhi. And that these are the person who knows the complete inside of that particular yajna. Yajna vidaha. They know exactly. Yajna vidaha. They know how to do this pancha prana agni. What Bhagavan wants to say is, even in this all this purakam, rechakam, pancha prana kumbhakam, in all of them, that yajna vidaha, when they do this, it is also a Havis into Agni Arjuna, and in all of them, tena sarve Brahmaiva Gantavyam. In everything, it is only the Brahman into which it is deposited, because in all these yajnam, the ultimate knowledge is for the realization of the Brahman, and for the Atma Shuddhi, either if he is in Atma Shuddhi or if he is in a Jnana Nishta, he is doing pranayamam. In all of them, it is only for this pran, the Brahman as his ultimate goal, sarvam. And that again coming back to this one, samagram karma, samagram karma praviliyate atmani eva brahmani eva praviliyate. Samagram karma, that samagram karma is what Bhagavan explained here. Kutra praviliyate, brahmani praviliyate, in the Brahman praviliyate, and that is being taken as a Havis and Agni. That's all. So we have covered all that 17 yajnam, the way that has been said in the matrix through all these shlokas. Sorry, 12. So the last one is the pancha pranayama yajnam. And with that, this particular 17 types of yajnam finishes. And as I said, 26 we will see in more chapter. And from next class, we will see the other one. Okay. Any doubts so far in this one? In this particular class today? Any of you? Yeah? It's okay. Okay. Don't you. Om Tat Sat iti Srimad Bhagavad Gitasu Upanishadsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Shri Krishna Arjuna Samvade Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yogo Nama Chaturthyodhyayaha Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Om Tat Sat. Yatata Gita Mahatmyam Dharavacha Bhagavan Parameshana Bhaktirabhya Vicharini Prarabdham Bhujyamanasya Katam Bhavati He Prabhu Shri Vishnuruvacha Prarabdham Bhujyamano Hi Hitabhyasa Ratas Sada Samukta Sasuki Loke Karmana No Palipyate. Om Tat Sat. Sarvam Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Okay, I'll send the recording. We'll see you again in the next class. Hari Om. Namaste ji.
Thank you, Mama. Mama,
Thank
if
you.
you could share that matrix also, it would be helpful, because I was not there earlier. If someone
Okay.
who's got
Oh,
the
no,
matrix.
I'll send in the WhatsApp, but I will. Do you want me to send it? You are in the WhatsApp group, no?
Yes, Mama.
Okay,
I'm
you
there.
should have seen. You should see it in the WhatsApp.
It's there.
Yatish.
No, I
It's there
joined
in
only
WhatsApp
late.
group.
Just this morning I shared.
Today morning you have done, no? Let me
Yeah,
check.
just this
One
morning I
minute.
shared. Yeah. Okay, no problem.
I'll check, Mama. Thank you.
Hari Om, Narayana.
Shri
It was
Gurubhyo
very
Namah.
interesting,
Thank you so much.
actually.
Yes, Subha?
It was very interesting. I have to
Ah.
go through the YouTube again.
Yeah. It is nice that
Yes.
because what happens is, this particular Havis, Hota, and then the Agni. When we see that, the Jnana Agni becomes strong. I didn't go deep into that one. It is all to enforce that Jnana Agni, not just to only develop the other. Everything, Sarva Agni, Jnana Agni Praviliyate. Even in our smallest action, when we do this, that power of that, because Bhagavan will say in everything, that is that Jnanam. That Jnanam is the one which becomes that particular Agni. With that, everything is quenched. We will say that what is it? Yeah, how all the thing that you put the wood into the fire, it gets dissolved. Everything then into this Jnana Agni automatically goes. You don't, it is involuntary action of Brahma Jnanam into this particular one. When this is all, that is why these are all great upayam, great sadhanam for any level of beginners. Gita is so impregnated with such kind of a deep.
Yeah.
Hari Om.
Thank
Shri
you.
Gurubhyo
Thank
Namah.
you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mama.
Hari Om.
Thank you.
Narayana.